Yo, everybody, we back. I know it's been a while since I did an Elvis reaction or breakdown interview, whatever you want to call it. But for those who may not know, I kind of recently just discovered Elvis, like his talent, like how influential he was. Like, I'm a fan. So with that being said, it was other videos that I asked for more detail on, and some of you guys sent some in the comments. And it was one particular lady sent me a IG video that I wanted to do. So I go write it down on my notepad, like, you know, of things that I want to make videos on, and I put Elvis IG video. The problem is with that, I didn't put the title. My thinking was I was going to be able to just go back to my DM and find the message. Man, I searched 30 minutes. I couldn't find it. So if you do see this, please send it again so I can write it down. But while I was searching some Elvis interviews, that's what I actually typed in. This popped up. 10 dark secrets Elvis didn't want you to know. Now I'm trying to find out more about like this legend. You know what I'm saying? Like I love music. I love finding out like the history of these artists and all that. You know, if I'm a fan. So with that being said, we're about to dive into this, man. Y'all might have to let me know what's true, what's not true. Is she exaggerating or whatever? Y'all got to let me know. Let's check this out, though.
Top 10 dark secrets Elvis didn't want you to know. Hi, I'm your host Richard Shields, and let's get right into the video. Number 10, germaphobe. While speaking to Jonathan Ross in a 2015 interview, Priscilla Presley revealed that her late ex-husband was terrified of germs and would take his phobia to the extreme. She claimed that he even refused to use anyone else's silverware, which even included the ones at high-end restaurants.
What? 10 dark secrets? What's the problem with that? Since COVID, for me and my family, when we go out to eat, it's always plastic utensils. I don't care where we go. We ask for plastic utensils. And that's been on my mind for a while because I watch Forensic Files, right? I'm addicted. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But one of the cases was broke because the person had went to a fast food restaurant and ate. Whatever, long story short, the narrator said, you know, they was able to find him because the fork that he ate off of wasn't properly cleaned and it had two people's DNA on it. That's disgusting, man. So that ain't no problem. Why he don't want you to know that he don't like germs? I don't like germs either. I don't like people who look like germs.
She said that because of his secret germophobia, he never liked to go to other people's homes to eat because he would have to take his own silverware, and that would often cause quite an uncomfortable situation, as you could imagine. Quote, and he didn't like drinking out of cups that other people had drunk out.
Me either. I use straws everywhere for everything. I do not drink from a cup. I don't. All the time. Man, this already getting on my nerves.
Out of even restaurants or other people's homes. So when he drank, he would drink where the handle was, knowing that no one would ever drink at that side. Although this information is not widely known,
That's
Priscilla
smart.
says Elvis has been that way ever since he was a child. She believed that he just didn't like to put his mouth where other people had put their mouth, especially with cutlery and dishes.
I don't like to put my mouth where other people put their mouth either. I don't understand this.
Which is definitely something most people wouldn't have known about the star. Number 9, liked younger women. In her book Elvis and Me, Priscilla Presley wrote that she just turned 14 when she met Elvis Presley, who was 24 years old at the time and already an international superstar. Despite the scandal, they started an intimate courtship that lasted 7 years before they eventually married in 1967. Now, the age difference is creepy on its own, but it becomes even creepier when you compare that to what Linda Thompson wrote in her own memoir. Thompson, who dated Elvis after his marriage to Priscilla ended, was also very young and inexperienced at the time. In fact, he allegedly told her, quote, I want to preserve you for as long as you need. Whatever he meant by that, it just sounds super icky.
That's interesting now. I want to preserve you? Keep you fresh? What that mean? What that mean? Take care of you? I don't know. Y'all gotta let me know if that's true. That's crazy. You 24 dating a 14-year-old? That's crazy. I ain't with that. I got daughters. I ain't with that.
Elvis reportedly took advantage of his power to manipulate young, impressionable fans whenever he went on tour. Joel Williamson, who wrote a historical book about Elvis, claimed that 2 years before he met his future wife, the star took a group of 3 girls with him on tour for the purpose of, quote, pillow fights, tickling, and cuddling. Number 8, his
What?
manipulate young, impressionable fans whenever he went on tour. Joel Williamson, who wrote a
Who is Joe Williamson? See, I don't like stuff like that. Now, I guess that's facts about him and his wife, 10 years age difference. It's not 10 years that's the problem. It's 10 years that's the problem when she's 14. But if she was 21 and he was 31, right? But Joe Williamson, who is this guy? Like, did he really have inside information? Was he friends with Elvis to come up and say what he put? Man, I don't like stuff like that, bro. Because it's just so much lies and, try to sell a book. I don't know how true that was. Like I said, I'm new to learning all about the history of Elvis and how dope he was. One thing for sure, no matter what's going on outside of the music, dealing with the music, the man was amazing.
Historical book about Elvis claimed that 2 years before he met his future wife, the star took a group of 3 girls with him on tour for the purpose of, quote, pillow fights, tickling, and cuddling.
But he ain't even say how old they was. So what's the, like, okay, I'll take a 25-year-old on tour so I can do a pillow fight with her. What'd that mean? See, I need more context.
8. His vanity. Fame is a terrible drug that often pushes stars into the oddest methods of trying to stay thin and beautiful. Linda Thompson wrote in her memoir that Elvis's obsession with being slim would drive him to bizarre measures to keep the weight off, including an alleged 2-week period of sedation. That's exactly what it sounds like. Elvis mainly slept all day except for brief periods where he woke up long enough to go to the bathroom and eat a small portion of food before being sedated again and going back to sleep. She also claimed that he regularly did crash diets on just 500 calories a day. She also exposed his secret about why he constantly wore shirts with high collars. Apparently, he did it to conceal his neck, which he actually hated. She wrote that the whole reason he wore the trademark style was to keep his, quote, skinny little chicken neck hidden from the public. Then,
is that true? I just don't think that this is like, I don't know, man. Because and by the way, this video says 6 months ago. So this is a fairly recent video. But I don't know if it's me. I don't know, but I mean, bro, like, people take measures to look the way they want to look. Why is that like a dark secret? Like, man, this is what he did to look the way he wanted to look. People go have plastic surgery. Y'all go get braces, to get your teeth fixed. That's okay. That's cosmetic, though. Like, it's just, we so quick to judge others with their methods, even though we do things the exact equal, right? Like, on the same scale, if that makes sense. Like, what you do to lose weight might not be what I do to lose weight. And neither one of them is a natural way to lose weight, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't throw stones, man. Like, I just don't feel like, I just don't like stuff like this. That's why I don't look into celebrities, like who they date and who they anything outside of the music. I really tend to stay away from it unless it's a story that I feel like can help people, motivate people, change people's lives. So that's why I wanted to dive in a little bit more about learning about Elvis. Because, like I said from the beginning, I was under the impression that he was a racist. And you guys came through after I did that first reaction. Y'all came through and y'all broke it down for me, man. And thank y'all for that. Like, it just opened up my eyes, man, because I'm very open. Like, I'm not, just because I hear it from this side, I'm going to just run with it. That's just how I was brought up, right? With the Chuck D thing and all that. But now, as I'm diving deeper and I'm watching what all these other great artists and people who was around him say, like, how can you deny that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you deny that? So, and I'm very optimistic. I'm not closed-minded. Like, I want to hear whatever because you just never know.
And at age 40, Elvis allegedly opted for a facelift. Quote, there has been speculation through the years that Elvis has his eyes done or some other mystery procedure, but that mini facelift was the extent of his plastic surgery. Well, it seems like his ex-wife was really intent on revealing a side of him that was incredibly vain. Number 7, pet chimpanzee. This one is really messed up. Billy Smith, who was a member of Elvis's entourage, openly talked about how Scatter, Elvis's pet chimpanzee, was essentially used as a party favor that they trained to harass women. It said that the chimp would often look for women at parties and grab onto their clothes. According to Smith, Scatter also drank heavily. Quote, he could down a fifth of liquor before you knew it. Smith remembered and
The monkey can drink? Am I tripping? Did I hear that right?
at the time when Scatter was beaten by a woman at a party for misbehaving. There have been conflicting reports about what really happened to the chimp. Some state that he merely lost his life due to old age, but Smith speculated that Scatter was poisoned by one of the maids who was tasked with feeding him after he was abandoned by Elvis and the crew who were out on the road. Although it's unclear exactly how he passed, it appears as though Scatter took his last breath on his own after years of living the party lifestyle. The whole thing was really rather sad, as it seemed like Elvis and his friends used the chimp just to entertain themselves. And
oh my God, man, this is irritating. So you're making a video saying that it was, so you're talking about the monkey, and then you say, well, it's conflicting reports, which means you got somebody on each side. But yet you still decide to add this in there because what you're saying, you don't know. Man, that's crazy. The monkey was drinking and shit. Unless I heard that wrong. Y'all gotta let me know if I heard that wrong. But if the monkey was drinking, I'm sure in any jungle you go to, they don't have liquor stores set up where you can go over there and get a coconut full of rum or a banana with some Kahlua and shit where you can go head on and just get the monkeys, they can be lit. I know that. So, yeah, I would think now, true enough, the monkey shouldn't be drinking no alcohol. I'm big on that. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. That is crazy, the more I think about that. But you don't know. You don't know how the monkey passed away. She said he was with Elvis for years. Like, man, I don't know. They said, man, I don't know. That conflicting story. As soon as she said that, I'm instantly like, okay, now this might not hold no weight.
and discarded him when they went on tour. Number 6, attacked his fiancée.
And why would you want to poison him? Like, what, for what reason? And then he's trained to go over there and harass women. Like, what? Some of these stories, like, it may be true. I'm going to ask y'all. Y'all know more than me. But that's weird, yo. I'm going to just say that. That's weird to me.
After Linda Thompson, Elvis briefly dated Mindy Miller before becoming involved with Ginger Alden, who was a full 20 years younger than him. It was only 2 months into their relationship when Elvis proposed to her and she accepted. The couple planned to walk down the aisle just a few months before Elvis's untimely death, and Alden even said how excited he was about their wedding and their future together as a couple. She revealed to Express that during his final days, quote, Elvis was looking forward to many things: marriage, more children, serious films, and his next tour. But Elvis was reportedly very manipulative when it came to women and could be extremely jealous and controlling. According to sources close to the star at the time, he could get very violent. His treatment of her was horrifying, and the pair constantly argued during their time together. After one particular fight, he allegedly asked someone in his entourage to pop the tires on Alden's car so she couldn't leave his home. And on another occasion,
That's stalker mentality. That's crazy.
when she was driving away after an argument, Elvis reportedly aimed his weapon at her car and fired. Number 5.
That's hard. Yo, let me know. Is that real? He really shooting? I think that's one of the hardest things for me to believe. To not saying it's not true, and I'm not talking about Elvis particularly, but like when a star, you can like go out here and do things to these women when against their will. Like, it's so hard for me to fathom that, because you can get any woman you want. If that one says no, go to the next one. I understand feelings and emotions, right? Like when you're talking about like a husband and a wife, it's just not that easy. Like, okay, I'm about to leave you alone and go with somebody else. You got a whole life with this person. But it's just hard for me to believe this, because just watching the other 2 videos I've done on Elvis, they didn't say nothing like this. The people that I don't know. They didn't say nothing like this. That's man, I ain't never heard that. Y'all let me know if that's true.
Allegations of racism. Last year, Quincy Jones revealed to The Hollywood Reporter that he always refused to work with Elvis because he was a racist. The musician, best known for producing Michael Jackson's albums Thriller, Off the Wall, and Bad, made the comments about Elvis's supposed history of racism in his new interview. The outlet asked Jones about Presley after the producer compared Jackson to the king of rock and roll. The 88-year-old musician and producer described a time when he was writing for the orchestra leader Tommy Dorsey in the 50s, and Elvis came in saying, quote, "I don't want to play with him." Jones went on to call Elvis a racist and added, quote, "But every time I saw Elvis, he was being coached by Otis Blackwell, telling him how to sing." And while there wasn't an overwhelming amount of accusations surrounding Elvis's past racism, there are certainly many allegations against the icon for appropriating black culture and repackaging it to the general public as his own. Despite this, it's obvious that American society still allowed him to have a very successful career, whether it was something the lead singer did consciously or subconsciously. Number 4,
See, Quincy Jones, you made this, like, it's no way I make this video this way, because I will watch other videos. I will watch other people speaking on Elvis to back up this, right? Because remember, I was under the same impression. All these other black artists, black entertainers, black people that was around him and everything, from the videos I've seen, loved him. See, Quincy calls Elvis a racist because he didn't want to work with somebody. He didn't say, well, she didn't say that he said because he was black. She just said that Quincy said Elvis didn't want to work with him. It could have been any reason. Skin color may have not had anything to do with that. I don't think it did, because of all the other black artists and people that Elvis worked with. So, I mean, I just think this was some clickbait shit. That's what it seemed like to me.
Hidden children. Even though he has been gone for many, many years, Elvis Presley has always been the center of several new scandals and controversies. One of the many that have hit the headlines in the last few years is that the king of rock and roll supposedly kept hidden children from the rest of the world.
Supposedly.
The National Enquirer actually conducted
National Enquirer? Ain't that one of them fake, that's one of them, them tabloids, the fake ones? I forgot what they call it. It might just be a fake tabloid. But I think it's a different name for them. But ain't that what that is? I know I ain't tripping. That's one of them fake ones, right?
did a 2-year investigation into the hidden children of the Presley family, reportedly acquiring witness testimonies, checking receipts, mail correspondence, birth certificates, and even DNA tests. The result of the investigation allegedly proves that Elvis did have several additional children that were being kept away from the spotlight of Hollywood. In fact, multiple alleged mothers of Elvis's hidden children have come forward to tell their stories about how they met the star, and the stories have some strange similarities. One example is Desiree Romaine Presley, who is the daughter of Lucy DeBarban, and she claims that her mother was in a 24-year-long relationship with Elvis and was being kept away from the media. But the crazy thing is that Desiree's father is listed as Randolph Presley on her birth certificate, someone who allegedly worked at the Air Force Base in Oklahoma City. Number 3.
I don't know. I don't know. If he got hidden children, why do you care? I mean, like, if in the hitting, just because he don't want people to know, like, man, damn. He already exposed his whole life to him. Can he have some type of privacy? That goes for anybody. But this don't sound real either. How the hell a magazine gonna get DNA tests? How are they gonna do that and get receipts and all it? But how you just come up with that? How though? I don't know. But maybe all this shit is true. I'm just judging this based off face value from the other videos that I've watched, from the comments that I've read, and y'all gave me hundreds of comments, and I read them all. And now we get things like this. Like, we talked about his drug addiction. That's what the video I think the lady sent me was about, that, because I wanted to know more about his what he struggled with and everything. And I think that's a reason why he passed away. That's what I was originally looking for, but then this popped up. But y'all we gonna finish this. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Is some of this stuff true? Is she just reaching? What is this?
Addicted to medication. It's not unheard of for celebrities to turn to substances as a way to cope with fame and just how crazy their lives become in the spotlight. But Elvis's alleged addictions could have had a very different origin when you look at the tragedy of his mother's passing. In 1958, he was drafted into the US Army, but went to Germany but had to return to the US less than 6 months later because of his mother's untimely death. Many people believe that this marked the beginning of the end for Elvis, who quickly headed down a path of self-destruction. As soon as he returned to Germany, it's reported that Elvis partied heavily and would often get into fights. During this time, he also started taking illegal substances to try and deal with the grief of losing his mother. This probably snowballed, and it's assumed that from that moment on, the misuse of substances played a major role in his life. Linda Thompson wrote several examples in her memoir about these incidents and says that she often found Elvis passed out in a bowl of chicken noodle soup under the influence of sedatives. She even says that doctors tried
chicken noodle soup with a soda on the side?
To hospitalize him for 2 weeks after misusing a combination of medication for far too long. Number 2.
So we did talk, I mean, we know about the drug addiction and everything. Like, I definitely want to know a little bit more. I don't think that this ain't what I was looking for. It's just everything is allegedly on this. I don't like that type of talk, allegedly, or, you know, like we was led to believe. I don't like shit like that when you doing some type of breakdown or whatever this is.
2. Why Priscilla ended things. Because she was only 14 years old when their courtship began, it's really no surprise that she missed out on a huge chunk of her adolescence. She told Jonathan Ross in 2015, quote, "I was kind of lost, really, in who I was earlier in my life. I really didn't have teenage years." After their first child, Lisa Marie, was born, Priscilla accused Elvis of not wanting to sleep with her after she had given birth. Elvis told her that he wanted her to recover, but Priscilla later wrote in her memoir that he had mentioned before they were married that he had never been able to make love with a woman who'd had a child. In fact, throughout their marriage, Elvis continued to cheat on Priscilla with other women, and she herself had her own affair with an owner of a dance studio. It's safe to say that their marriage never really recovered. They finalized their divorce in 1973, and she said that this was because her life was his life, which meant her problems were always going to be secondary. Years later, she admitted that she did not divorce him because she didn't love him, but because she had to find out about the world. She was clearly just way too young when they started seeing each other.
I can't agree with that, but this is all quotes from her, so like we got to take that for what it is. But that's personal. Like I don't care about that. Like that's, everybody got problems in relationships, ups and downs and struggles and infidelity and money problems or a lack of attention, sex, whatever. So I care less about stuff like that. I don't get into none of that.
1. Erratic violence. In recent years, Linda Thompson has been pretty open about her time with Elvis Presley, stating, quote, "We all knew how dangerous Elvis's rage could be. Apparently, when she first noticed Elvis could get pretty angry was when someone reportedly stole personal photos of one of his ex-girlfriends with another woman. She claimed that he then decided to show off his samurai sword collection while under the influence of illegal substances and left her fearing for her life. Although she said that he was true to his word and he didn't in fact hurt her, she was concerned because his talents were entirely impaired due to the narcotics. These were just some of the several times that his ex said that she worried about his boiling rage. Apparently, the musician even invested in a concealed carry permit to take the weapons on stage with him, including several that were actually stuffed into his shoes, just in case someone got a little bit too rowdy in the crowd. Even singer Tom Jones spoke about Elvis's love of weapons during a visit to his dressing room. Tom said that he noticed the loaded weapon just sat on the side and simply handed it to Elvis by wrapping it in a towel. Sounds a little crazy to me. Let us know.
How? See, this is what I don't like. The man went and legally did what he needed to do to carry the weapon. His right to carry the weapon, legally, he went and did that. So he kept weapons. What's the problem with that? I think it's a little weird to go on stage with one because you got security. You're supposed to have, they can carry, cover everything that's supposed to happen. But this back in the day, I wasn't born. I don't know how it was. But regardless, how is that? See, that's what I don't like. Like you create a narrative that's a little weird to me to have a loaded weapon, even though you have every right to carry one and the license. What? And look at the world we live in now. You better have one. Especially every woman. You better carry one. Because this world is crazy. But anyway, see this, I just feel like a lot of this shit was just to make a video. Not what, so let me ask y'all this, because y'all know more than me. So let me ask y'all this. Did any woman come out and say that Elvis, did they ever press charges or show pictures of her being bruised up and beaten, bleeding or whatever because Elvis put his hands on her? Let me know that, because I don't see, she didn't say none of these women that allegedly broke up with him and got the divorce or whatever did this. She said that one of the ladies or somebody said Elvis pulled out a gun while she was trying to leave. Bust some tires. I think that's some bullshit, but that could have happened, right? But did they ever get did he put hands on them? Y'all gotta let me know. I just want to know, because shit like this, man, I just don't like videos like this. I don't. I just don't, man. I think that's weird to carry a gun that you bought, and he was in the military. Was it weird for him to carry a gun over there? Let me know. Was it weird for him to go over there and go to Germany, get drafted and have to go out there and go to war with somebody and then shoot him? Is that weird? Let me
know what you think in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.
All right, man. That's hey, man, y'all let me know what y'all think. This kind of got on my nerves, but hey, all of this could have been true. Y'all let me know what's going on. Let me know what y'all thought about the video too. Am I the only one? Am I tripping? Am I tripping with the way I feel about this? I'm not one to get in people relationship problems and all that. I don't care about that. So that maybe that's the reason why I'm already against these type of videos. But nothing she said was facts, other than the quotes that came from his wife. If that's a quote, she said it, we got to take that for what it is. But everything else seemed like it was alleged, and the bullshit that Quincy Jones said. But that ain't even have enough context for it to be in this video. You didn't say why Quincy said that he didn't want to work with him. You never mentioned that. It's okay to not want to work with somebody. Like, I think that's, I don't know. Then about the germs and shit, like, how is that a problem? Because the man wanted to be safe. Y'all let me know. This shit done got on my nerves.